just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to The Yarn, powered by Longtel, the best internet in all the land. Longtel.net.au/bloke. Go over there. Just go into, even if you just want to support the platform, just go and sign up. That helps us. That really does help us, guys. Our partners, without them, we couldn't do all of these shows that we do, all the content we release. We couldn't do it. Longtel.net.au/bloke. Sign up. Or even if you just want to give them a call, let them know Bloke sent you. I promise you, you'll be shocked at how quickly that they can sort you. You'll be absolutely shocked. The best in the business, the amount of messages I get, people happy with it. So longtel.net.au. And also brought to you by Code Sports. Go to codesports.com.au, put in Bloke and get your yearly discount. The the transfer market, that should be up in the next day or two.
5 a.m. tomorrow morning.
5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So you got to sign up for that. Tyson, what's the big news, mate? What's going on?
Mate, we can't go past Sam Walker. We can't, let's not even talk about how my weekend was. let's talk about Sam Walker. So they've been in talks. We've heard all about the talks around Sam Walker's contract for pretty much all year. And then after Origin, it ramped up pretty crazy. There was talks of a 10-year deal. There was talks about big figures, looking upwards of 1.5. But the bare bones of it is the Roosters have come to Sam Walker's camp with an offer, and they are not happy with it. They're looking at, I think at a minimum, Sam Walker's camp wants about 1.3, 1.4. The Roosters at the moment are sitting around that $1.1 million mark.
Well, I read somewhere it was a $5 million deal over 5 years.
Yeah, which is not
With no ratchets or anything.
Yeah. So it's a pretty significant story. We're talking about on a night before the biggest game of their season so far. That's really going to show us. But also, if this drags on and Sam Walker hits November 1, he's part of that list that we're releasing tomorrow morning. PNG gets the door open to him. Perth gets the door open. Every single
Broncos
NRL
maybe,
club.
depending on what their cup looks
Exactly. And there's been that kind of attraction to return back to Queensland. So it's a huge story. And I think they're obviously trying to quiet it down at the moment. They're trying to say, look, we're just not going to talk about it. He's willing to hold it off until the end of the year. But as soon as you hit November 1 and other clubs can start chucking money at it, money talks. And these players, they want to get paid. So
just quickly, it was $5 million and it was for 5 years' time, but the contract wouldn't start till 2028. So it was $5 million over 4 years.
Over 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. So it wouldn't start till 28?
Yes, and there was $5 million for those 4 years.
Okay, so about 1.2 a year?
Yeah, I think it said it was going to start at 1.1 and then eventually climb to like 1.4.
It could go up to 1.4 because of a ratchet if that was the deal.
That sounds like a pretty decent deal to me. Do they want 1.5?
They want 1.5 flat.
Across the board? Oh,
They initially wanted a 10-year deal. A 10-year
Yeah.
deal was getting discussed, but that's not good for either party.
Yeah, it's an interest. Yeah, look, you had a chance to speak to Trent Robinson?
Yeah, I went to the presser today when this broke literally right as we walked in. We couldn't have been handed a better gift, right? And I actually asked Robbo about this story coming out because we never hear contract stuff leave the Roosters, right? And I said, is it a bit frustrating? And he said, it's pretty clear how that comes out from management when there was only a couple people in the meeting, and that's disappointing. I don't have any issues long-term about Sam and what he's going to do or anything like that. Sammy came here in 2019 as a kid, and he's been here for 7 years, and we've really progressed and built through that. Our vision for the future with Sammy is really clear. I think our discussions have been around that, and I don't mind holding off and waiting until October for that discussion either with the club, because that means we can focus on what's right now instead.
I mean, I'll give Robbo this, whether you agree, disagree, or whatever, mate, he's pretty honest.
He's always honest.
Pretty much every coach isn't that honest. Like, he's super honest to basically say, essentially, the manager is leaking information. And he specifically said a Queensland newspaper as well.
He mentioned my great mate Pete Bedell by name. He said Peter. I've never heard anyone call Pete Bedell Peter before.
Oh, wow. Yeah, look, I will say, and look, don't get me wrong, no, there's no innocent parties in any of this transfer talk or whatever. But for every time a club is leaking things, there's a manager leaking stuff. Matter of fact, you could argue managers leak more stuff than clubs do. You could argue. And so I feel a little bit for the Roosters here because, that sounds a little bit silly. They're the same people that moved, Mitch Pearson after a prelim. But just in this specific, if you take away history, blah, 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 they're trying to do the right thing and it's getting into the paper, which could be super frustrating. Do you get any feeling from the Roosters that they've already said that they won't work with Shavosky, correct?
That has been out there.
That's been reported. Could this derail negotiations? We know how Politis, how holy he holds the inner sanctum at the Roosters. Could this derail contract negotiations because stuff is getting leaked?
I think if it continues on from here, it will. I think this probably not. I spoke to people from Roosters on the way here, and they love Sam. They have such high hopes for Sam and visions. They even have a halves line in their juniors of guys ready to come in and partner Sam throughout his time. So I think if they can have it their way, they won't let it get to them. But if for some reason it keeps going, the Roosters will say, you know what, we're the Sydney Roosters. We don't have to play these games, you know, because I'll tell you now, we'll talk about them again in the rest of the show. Come November 1, there's a lot of halves on the market that they can have grabs at.
The thing, and look, I'm sure people have already deduced the impact of leaking that kind of stuff. But what it's essentially telling every other club is start making way for a shot at Sam Walker. Start looking at ways that you can put aside $1.5 million to attract this guy to your club. Whereas if that doesn't get leaked, you know, I guess the default position is, Sam Walker's going to resign. So why speak to managers about moving certain players on or whatever to get this guy to the club when it's basically a done deal at the Roosters? The reason why stuff like this gets leaked is to signal to other clubs, get the checkbooks out. There's a chance you might have a crack at him. Because in turn, he may not even be thinking about leaving Sam Walker. But then what happens is they can go to those other clubs. They say, get your checkbooks out. All these other clubs say, here's $1.5 million. He goes back to the Roosters and says, look at all these other offers. You need to bring your offer up, and gives him leverage, or gives whoever is doing this leverage. But yeah, if I'm being honest, like 1.2, 1.3, like I know over 5 years, like if you're getting 1.5 flat, that's about $1 million extra. Well, actually more, sorry. So let's say he's on 1.2. 300 a year. So you look, yeah, that's fair. You're looking at about a $1.5 million difference over that 5-year period. So that is quite a lot of money in the grand scheme of things.
It's on the new cap as well, which kind of brings into question, is Sam Walker, you know, I think 1.1, 1.2 on this cap is a lot of money. I think on the next cap, if he's your marquee man, if he's your star halfback in a competition that lacks great halfbacks, you know, on the grand scheme of things, is he actually worth, you know, a little bit more than that 1.1,
well, I guess,
1.2?
and look, my math's probably terrible, but how much would the cap have to increase for it to be equal at 1.5? You'd have to say if there's a 20% increase on the cap, that would like explain away, okay, you can go from $1 million to 1.5 because a 1.5 in the new cap is the same as $1 million in the old cap.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what his management is looking at, going, you know, like if you were to offer him $1 million right now, he's worth $1 million. Everyone agrees that. So why is he not worth 1.5 million in the new cap if he's worth 1 million right now, kind of thing?
Yeah, well, it could literally be the Roosters trying to cost save, right? We always know the Roosters are 5 steps ahead on recruitment.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other guys that they're looking at from November 1 as well, which will fit into that new cap. But
well, I guess another thing as well, mate, is like from the Roosters' perspective, it's like, mate, the way we win premierships is if our big dogs are slightly underpaid. Like, look at Nathan Cleary. He's been underpaid for a few years now. If he went to the open market right now, 1.5 easy in this cap.
Yeah.
In this cap. Easy. Probably 1.7, honestly. That's how important he is to a side. But he only got upgraded to 1.2 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, he was on about $1 million.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about a 4-time premiership winning 7. So
just did some math. So if you increase 1 million, if it goes up by 20%, that equals 1.2 million. If you're on 1.2 million now and you increase it by 20%, you're on 1.44 million.
okay. So do that again, sorry?
So if it goes up by 20%, so I assume it's going to actually go up more than that, but let's say it goes up 20% in the end. If you're on 1 million, that goes up to 1.2 million.
Yep.
But if you're on 1.2 million currently, it goes up to 1.44 million.
Yep. So I guess their argument is, okay, so the Roosters are looking at going, you're worth $1 million now, which would be 1.2, which is what they've offered. And his management is looking at like, no, he's a $1.2 million player, comparatively speaking to other sevens in the comp. I actually think like, look, is it on the lower end from the Roosters? Kind of, but I don't begrudge them that much.
No.
In regards to what they've offered.
Well, I spoke to someone from the Roosters yesterday. It was about something completely different, but it's just about their mindset moving forward. They've put a lot of money into their development. They're now a development club rather than a recruitment club. And the person told me, he said, we're training these guys to love the club so that money's not the factor from elsewhere, right? You can go and get your 1.5s and your tax-free dollars from PNG, but you love the Roosters, you want to be a part of this, that's what's going to keep you at the club, which is probably what they're using with their senior players now. And they're trying to say, look, you're going to take a little bit less to be here, but we'll set you up for life afterwards like they've done with all their guys.
Well, you look at the core. You look at your Boyd Cordners, your Orbos, your Friends, your Hargreaves. There's one other.
Paul Momorowski is heading up their academy at the moment, and he played 3 seasons there.
Mitch Orbison's the other one.
Yeah, Mitch Orbison's the head of football there. Like, they take, if you put on a Roosters jersey, Kane Evans is another example. They brought Kane Evans back when he needed some help and support. They take care of you, and that's something that they're looking to build as a club from their juniors. And it might be what they're looking to do here with a couple of their older guys too.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a tough one. I guess, it doesn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things of like, okay, 1.5, it's an extra 300K a year, but it does add up. There's
a big fish
okay, I guess the question is he worth 1.5? He hasn't won a premiership.
Where do you rank him?
Or come close?
I think Nathan Cleary is obviously your number
Easily,
one on the pyramid. Mate, I'd have Sam Walker in that second row. I believe like you'd have Tom Dearden, Sam Walker.
So you've got Jerome Hughes, Dearden, you've got obviously Cleary, Moses.
But on this year,
Moses hasn't won a premiership either.
And you can argue that this year or the last couple of years his form has dropped a bit. I think there's more upside on Sam Walker at the moment than any of those guys, including maybe a Jerome Hughes who's played his best footy. We've seen Jerome Hughes play his best footy.
It's true. When you put in age perspective, like it is the fact that he can be around for at least 5 years and he'll be in his prime for sure, like no doubt in his prime. So there is that. So yeah, it kind of is like, is he worth 1.5 million right now? Probably not. And just if you're just looking at how he plays on the field, you're looking at, I reckon, probably worth $1 million, 1.2. But you put in all the other things into consideration, his age, who else is it comparatively? Who else is out there?
Who can you sign that's better?
Who can you sign that's better?
Well, I've just done a bit of thinking. Correct me if I'm missing someone. There's only 4 premiership winning 7s in the comp at the moment. One of them is DCE, who's playing 6 and on the way out. The other 2 are Jerome Hughes and Adam Reynolds. Adam Reynolds about to retire. Jerome Hughes. Obviously Cleary. I don't think there's anyone else.
Yeah.
So it's hard to push back on that he is right in that second tier.
And especially after his performance in Origin. I mean, that Dearden injury has just totally changed his life.
Yeah.
Seriously. So, yeah.
I mean, look at Isaiah Katoa. You can probably say he's in a similar place to where Sam Walker is.
I think I'd actually argue. Oh, that's a fucking tough question.
They're very different style of players.
I'd probably go Isaiah Katoa.
It's hard because Walker's probably achieved just a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
He's been in the game longer though.
Well, a lot more actually.
When Sam Walker was 22, he was in and out of the side at times. Whereas Isaiah Katoa, he's not. He's led the Dolphins to their first ever finals berth this year. Because I'm pretty sure they're locked in now.
They're locked
finals.
in now. Yep.
Yeah.
He's led Tonga to a World Cup final. Oh, that's I'd go Katoa.
No, they haven't been in a World Cup final.
No,
Sorry,
it
not
was
a World Cup
Pacific
final.
Champs.
A Pacific Champs final. Apologies. I'd probably say Isaiah Katoa just.
I'd say he's probably a bit more influential on the Dolphins team than what Sam Walker is on the.
I don't know about that. I just like his consistency a bit more. Like I just think he's, I think he's a bit more consistent. However, if we get this version of Sam Walker all the time, this consistent, it's like, fuck, he can do stuff that no other half can do.
So if we take Mitch Moses out, because let's just take Mitch Moses out because of his age, but I probably have, at the moment, you'd have Mitch Moses above all of them as who you want right now. But if we're looking towards the future, the next 10 years, where would you rank Dearden, Walker, and Katoa?
Oof. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, they're so different.
They're all so different.
They're so different.
Let's pretend PNG are throwing 1.5 at someone. Who would you go after? Actually, no, that's a dumb question because it depends on your team. But just who's worth the most out of those?
Yeah. Well, probably Dearden, you'd say, wouldn't you?
I think recency bias is saying to me in my head off the first 2 Origin games, like Sam.
Dearden's actually won a
has
Wallaby
done.
West
Yeah,
winner.
Dearden has done it.
And Dearden's only 25. Walker's 24. Dearden's not that much older than.
Who's more likely to win a comp in the.
But the ironic thing is, I almost feel like the Roosters are stacked. They're close, but like I feel like building around a specific player. I almost feel like the Dolphins are the closest. Yeah, that's a fucking tough question because they're so different.
Yeah.
They're so different. Anyway, so hopefully this gets sorted. I think I do want him to stay at the Roosters. I don't want him to go anywhere else. He came there as a young fella. They've really both parties have been super patient. They've finally landed okay, he's our guy. He can take us to a premiership. I'd hate to see that kind of get broken up. So,
And also, I don't think they don't want to start again.
nah, fuck. I mean, the tough thing. The tough thing for the Roosters is if you're in Sam Walker's management or whatever, it's like, all right, who else are you going to get?
Yeah.
Literally, who else? There was whispers that didn't, but he's come out and said, nope, not happening.
They've got good young kids, but again, it's not going to. Then you restart a 4-year process.
You start
to get
all
them,
over again.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, man.
My gut tells me that he's staying. I'm
think
pretty
he
confident
stays.
he's staying.
I think he stays.
I know
too.
he wants to stay. I know for a fact he wants to stay. I had conversations a couple of weeks ago when there was the rumor that the Bulldogs was coming out. I made some calls. I said, mate, is there any truth to this? And I got told, mate, we want to do a long-term deal at the Roosters. Sam Walker wants to be a Rooster. It's just finding that sweet spot at the moment. It's like a relationship, bro, a little bit of a tiff. I'm sure they'll come together tomorrow and make up,
Okay, we'll see. We will see. Alrighty, breaking news today. So, to my understanding, the Panthers sat down with Yeo and Cleary and kind of just wanted a bit of a vision of the future. What's going on there?
Yeah, so there's been a bit of a rumor going around that Nathan Cleary is going to go to November 1. He wants to see what he's worth. He wants to see.
Well, it flipped and flopped. Initially, it was like, I want to test my value. And then we've been getting all these reports like he's pretty much going to stay at Penrith. And then the Panthers recently have asked Isaah Yeo just to have a quick chat about the both futures. And I'm not sure what Isaah Yeo has said, but Cleary has said, and this is according to Danny Wadler, Cleary has said that he wants to wait. He doesn't want to talk about contracts right now.
Yeah, it's a crazy story. The messaging we've been getting from Penrith is we're going hard now. We need to lock these guys down. I think from their perspective, they could afford to lose Brian and but they thought, hey, if we lose one or two, we could keep the 6 guys that we really desperate on. But it's concerning that if he goes to November 1, like we just said about Sam Walker, Nathan Cleary will get literally whatever he wants. He'll get anything he wants.
Way more than Sam Walker.
And it kind of tells you, I think it gives the Panthers an indication, and I'm not speaking for Nathan, but that, hey, there is a chance I'm not going to be here.
Well, just what's strange about it is are you this sounds super harsh, and it's his life; he can do whatever he wants. But are you willing to put the Panthers through this much headlines just to see what the feeling is of being an open free agent? You know what I'm saying?
But no matter what Nathan does, is going to
that doesn't strike me as Nathan Cleary's MO. Like some people that are saying, nah, he's going to re-sign with Penrith. It's just he just wants to see what it feels like. It's like I don't think he'd put the club through that. I think that if he says that he wants to go to the open market and test it all out, I think he genuinely is going to the open market to test out. So there is a chance he could actually leave. So I just don't. I don't agree with this idea of they're going to re-sign him. No, nothing to see here. I don't think Nathan Cleary would do that. I think he's being honest in the sense of he's open to seeing what happens. And I personally think, and this is just pure speculation now, just guesswork, but I think that they're putting together a massive deal with Adidas. Mary Fowler and him are both with Adidas. Huge European couple. She's huge over there. I think that that's probably what he's waiting to kind of put all together slowly, because I don't know why you'd go to the open market if you're just going to re-sign with Penrith anyway, because as if they aren't already offering you as high as they possibly can offer you. Yeah,
no, exactly right. It's really, I wouldn't use confusing as the word. I think it's more simple than
but I think people just saying that he's going to re-sign with Penrith, they're the ones making it confusing.
Yeah.
When I think the reality is Cleary is being honest. He's going to the open market and he's going to be open to see what happens.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to stop, from my conversations in the last couple of weeks, I don't think this is going to stop Penrith from pushing. They know that they're in an uphill battle if they get to November 1 with Nathan and with Isaiah. I think Isaiah's probably a bit more.
But Isaiah's a weird one because he said the other night that he wanted talk to start with Penrith.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Isaiah's not there next year. In 2028.
But then why have they waited so long to start talking to him?
They've been talking to him. I don't think
That was quoted from Isaah Yeo.
Yeah, but I don't think the conversations are necessarily involved directly Isaiah. There's been conversations with all these guys' agents and things like that have been started for.
Well, someone needs to tell Isaah Yeo because he literally said that he has had no conversations and he would like them to start.
From Penrith's perspective, they have and I said this a couple of weeks ago, they have a priority list, and number 1 and number 2 on that list is Isaah Yeo and Nathan Cleary, not in that order. But they want to re-sign him. I can almost guarantee you.
Why would you wait this long to begin chats with Isaah Yeo? What's changing in the market for Isaah Yeo?
I don't think anything's changing.
Can you get the quote up that Isaah Yeo said? Because it didn't sound like he was fucking.
I don't think, like, even before Mitch Kenny had signed, I had a chat with Mitch Kenny about his contract, and he said to me, "I'm not involved in the chats. Like, I'm not involved in them." A week later, I'd be
confident he'd be in talks with his management of going like, "What's happening?" You know, yeah, fuck. I'm sure Isaah Yeo would be talking to his management. I'm sure.
Yeah, but I haven't seen the quote that you're referring to, but
he said it on 360, I think.
Sorry, one sec. Okay. So he was asked about it. No, not yet. I touched on it at the start of the year. I think I assumed everybody would go to November 1. My perfect world would be staying at Penrith. There was nothing that was going to happen over the origin period. I'd love the conversations to maybe start now, but that's news to me. There might be things happening behind the scenes I'm not aware of.
Yeah, so he's saying he wants to start talking.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange because all the messaging I'm getting out of Penrith at the moment is that it's Nathan Cleary and Isaah Yeo.
I get that, but like, let's just put it this way. There have been players that have left in the past from Penrith that Penrith have said they've done everything to keep them. And let's just say that might be an exaggeration of the truth. Like, Penrith have a duty here, and that is to protect the Penrith brand and messaging and everything like that coming out of the club. Like, for example, like, when Ivan Cleary was asked, and maybe he just didn't answer the question, but he was asked, did you counter offer Brian To'o? Did you want to keep him? The journo said. And he said, yeah, we wanted to keep him. But and maybe he just missed it, but he didn't say we counter offered. Giving To'o permission to go and speak, a 7-day window to go and speak before November 1, this is like, man, at least in my experience, maybe Penrith are totally different. In my experience, if a club does that, if a club wants to keep you there, they don't let you do that.
But from my understanding with the Brian To'o situation, there had been meetings about an extension between Brian To'o's agent and with Penrith. They couldn't come to a figure that they both agreed on. Brian To'o's camp has seen the lay of the land and gone, well, look, if we can't sit there, can we
what does this sound like? This sounds exactly like Luai.
I know.
This sounds exactly like Critter.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. It's strange that, like, Isaah Yeo, the fact that they haven't begun to speak until essentially today, I think that's strange. I think that's very, very strange. I personally, Isaah Yeo, okay, put it this way. Why now that he's a bit older is he all of a sudden waiting till November 1 and conversations haven't started? However, 2 or 3 years ago, they didn't even let him get close to November 1.
Yeah, I can't tell you, but like if you lose all these guys, Kempy, like they're not the same. I know they've got good guys coming through, and Lindsay Smith's a built-in replacement for Yeo and this and that. If they lose Yeo, and I said it the other day, if for some reason Yeo doesn't play the rest of this year, which it looks like he'll be back, I don't think they can win a comp. But he's that important to the club.
Really?
So, like he's that link between the forwards and Nathan. Like he gets through so much work, takes so much pressure off Nathan at Clubland that he's so effective. But
I think they could still win the comp if he wasn't playing.
Well, other point besides the point, but like if you lose Isaah Yeo, you lose Nathan Cleary. Penrith's not this powerhouse anymore.
Why are they letting him go to November 1 then?
I don't think they can just strike up a deal. Like it's about cash as well. He's going to get offered more cash from somewhere else that they might not even be able to counter.
But how much? Like Isaah Yeo is like...
How much do you reckon the Tigers would pay for Isaah Yeo? If Isaah Yeo, and I'm using the Tigers because they have overpaid in the past for players.
Oh, I don't know, 1.3, 1.4.
And you think Penrith would be able to pay Isaah Yeo 1.3?
I reckon they're already paying him $1 million.
Yeah, but do you think that they'll be able to pay him 1.3, 1.4 while also having Nathan on big money, while also having Isaiah Papali'i is going to get a contract extension?
I think they could pay him 1.2. 100%. Absolutely. He's already on $1 million now.
But he's done everything he has to do as well.
Who else are they paying $1 million to in that salary cap? Dylan Edwards is not on $1 million.
No, but
To'o's gone.
They've got well, To'o's nowhere near $1 million, but they've got to have extension talks with all these guys. You know, like it could be a
But
balancing
every salary cap has at least 2 players usually
on
on
$1 million.
Who else would be on $1 million?
But it's not about who else is on $1 million. 'Cause I agree that you can have Nathan and Isaiah Yeo on $1 million. Dylan Edwards might be on 900, right? If they move Isaiah Papali'i to the front row, which is there's a good chance they do, his value goes up because front rowers have become, you know, a very high valued position. We're seeing front rowers on 1.2, 1.3. If you're giving Isaiah Papali'i,
He's not getting anywhere near that.
No, I know, but even if you're giving him 800K,
He's not getting 800K.
but I'm just throwing figures out there. If you're bumping all these guys' salaries up, it's taking money from somewhere else.
But the thing is that every squad has at least a couple players on that figure. If Isaiah Yeo and Cleary are your 2 best players, they'll both be on over $1 million. Like you're actually, every good squad has that. Like it's the way the balance of the salary cap is, and they're losing Leota as well. I
don't know if they're going to lose Leota.
Well, we'll see. But I think it's strange that they've waited this long. I genuinely do. I think that if they, a couple of years ago, they wouldn't have waited this long.
No, I agree. But like things are different now as well. Like Isaiah Yeo, respectfully to Isaiah Yeo, this might be his last contract as well. You know, so if you could, you've won your comps. If you could go and get a good paycheck somewhere else, like PNG offer Isaiah Yeo good coin. Like you can't.
But I'm saying I'm the one that's actually saying that's probably going to happen.
But I think
you're saying that they're not going to let him go.
No, I don't think they'll let him go. But I'm saying like from their perspective, from Penrith's perspective as well, if they throw an offer out now, he says no. And I'm sure figures have already started to be talked about with his agent, despite Isaiah Yeo not being in those conversations. If for some reason they can't come up with a figure and he goes anyway, like you can't match some of this opposition with the amount of talent they've got in their team.
Wouldn't they just do what they done with Toto then? Just go
let him go early. Well, like I said, there's a priority list there, and I know for a fact that Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo aren't going to get told, "Hey, you can go and negotiate for 7 days somewhere else." I think for Bizza, the writing was on the wall at Penrith. I think if they were going to lose a player, and this is no disrespect to Bizza, if they were going to lose a player, I think they could go, you know what? And I disagree with this. We can replace a winger a lot easier than we can replace our main forward ball player and our halfback.
So you don't think do you think it's weird they haven't, like, they've waited this long to get to chat in regards to extensions?
No, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that the chats have only started now. Like I think they've been bubbling away. I just don't think, like, a lot of these players like that, they're not brought in until the last stages. Like this is the locked in deal. I'm sure there's been negotiations over the last couple of months about certain things and getting to certain places, potentially looking at life after footy as well. I just feel like they've got so much to deal with Penrith. Like their list, again, check it out tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Their list is so long, it's going to be hard to retain all those guys, and they've got to have a bit of a juggling act, a bit of puzzling to know, hey, we pay him this much, we can pay this guy this much. We get Nathan on this much, we can, like, Nathan's next paycheck's going to be so big, Kempy. It's going to be so big.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's strange. I think the fact that Isaiah Yeo is quoted saying everyone's going November 1, I think that's strange. I think if you're desperate to keep a player, you're not letting him go to November 1. Like, for example, if Cleary walked in right now and said, all right, let's get a deal done, you reckon they go, oh, nah, we'll wait till November 1?
No, but
they'd have a deal tomorrow.
Like Cleary's that first priority. Like, and I think they can't. I actually don't think Penrith can make a decision on a big money player until Cleary re-signs. Because how much do you think Nathan Cleary's going to make?
You reckon they're going to blow their cup up so much that they can't make any decisions on a player?
Nathan Cleary
they just made a decision on Mitch Kenny, $750K a year.
700. You just said 2 players on $1 million or no, over $1 million. How much of that do you think Nathan Cleary is going to take?
But
on his next contract,
you're the one that said that they're not making any decisions until he resigns.
No, I don't. I said I don't think they can because I think Nathan Cleary. Right, if Nathan Cleary's value goes to we're talking Sam Walker being a 1.5. What would that make Nathan Cleary? Because all of a sudden you go from 2 players on just over $1 million around your 1.2s, 1.1s, whatever. Nathan Cleary could be close to the $2 million mark.
Wouldn't they? But again, the thing is that they would already know exactly. They would have a top off for him. This is as much as we can give you. Can you stay? Can you not stay?
They're hopeful. Like I'm just putting their lay of the land out, right? I think they've got a really tough battle ahead of them to keep these guys.
I don't know. I think that they've looked at a few things, and just like they made calls with Critter, with Burton, with Kickow, with Coruscant, with all those players. I reckon they've looked at a few things and they've gone, okay, here's his age. This is how good they've been for a certain amount of years, and they're kind of trying to piece together, like, okay, we might keep 1 or 2 out of the 6 players or whatever. I think the Cleary, of course, they want to keep Cleary, like every club would want to. But I think the Isaah one is super intriguing that they haven't got a deal done yet, especially when he said, like, I would love to begin talking.
Do you reckon Peter Wallace has much of a say on this at the moment as well?
He'd have to, surely.
Like if I was Penrith, I'd be giving Peter Wallace. You tell me the guys that we need to keep, because I'm concerned for him, to be honest. He's walking into a very tough job following Ivan Cleary, and like you just said, there is a chance he loses a lot of this roster.
I think there's, by design to a degree, that they're looking at a group and going, okay, they've been peaking for 5 to 6 years. It's been incredible. Get your cash, boys. We appreciate it. I think if they were desperate to keep Isaah Yeo, I'm a little bit surprised they haven't begun talks. Look, you say that maybe his manager's been talking this whole time. Maybe Isaiah is not aware of it, but at least talks that are deep enough where Isaah Yeo is aware of it. I'm genuinely surprised that hasn't happened, especially if he's open to doing it. The Cleary one, I get, because like Cleary's the one saying, no, I'm waiting. But I reckon Panthers are the masters, and this is a compliment to them, the masters of controlling the narrative around contracts. And I think that, put it this way, every player that leaves, the Panthers always say, oh, man, we wanted to keep him, but they just got taken. And it's just not what happened. It's that they've looked at certain things and gone, okay, we've got this young guy coming through, we can pay way less. So this guy that's actually now worth way more, we're going to move him on. And that's no knock on them, but it can't be the fact that just every player they lose is just purely because they just wanted more money. There are so many players that would stay for less money that don't. And I think the Penrith Panthers are trying to massage club legends and the PR around the club legends. And even the fact that a club captain is sitting there saying, look, I don't know what's happening. I would love to begin those chats. Like, that's strange. That's strange to me.
How crazy is it that, like, the first 2 things we spoke about on this podcast are contract issues at both the Roosters and Penrith, 2 clubs that this never happens at? Ever.
Yeah, as I said, well, it's just weird. It's weird that Isaah Yeo said that. Like that. What does that quote read to you, Matty? As a club captain saying that.
Yeah, like if that was Cam Murray, I'd be like blowing up at South saying, what the hell are you doing? Why don't you want to keep Cam Murray?
Yeah. If Paddy Carrigan said, like Paddy Carrigan just mentioned PNG, and I was like, oh, fuck.
I'm reading this article here. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. But apparently the Sydney Morning Herald are reporting Yo's salary to be $780,000 and he wants it to increase to $850,000. Surely not.
No way.
Surely not.
No way. That is nonsense. Oh, my God. He wants it to increase to $850,000.
That's what it says.
Oh, my God.
There's other reports that say it's more closer to 900, but yeah.
He'd be on close to $1 million now. It'd be 900 or something like that. A minimum.
Yeah.
700. Fuck. Isn't like Talon De Silva on like 650?
Talon De Silva's getting taken care of pretty well.
But like he's a rookie, not technical rookie, but he's like learning his game, which he'll turn into a great. Who's the other one? Like that Averillo's on 650. 700.
Yeah, there you go.
You're telling me Isaah Yeo's on the same as that? Come on, man. What are we doing here? That's silly.
To answer your question, though, I did watch my club captain walk out of my club to go to the PNG Chiefs, and it felt like shit. So
the difference was though that he hadn't taken up his option yet, so
no,
you're aware of
I
it.
understand.
But like I'm trying to compare it to like, who else is in the top tier as a club? Like, Teddy saying, I'm going to wait. Like, they haven't spoken to me yet, I guess. And maybe he has. Who's another, like, top-tier club with a legend player in it? Cam Murray is one of them. Like, because Isaah Yeo he is more to Panthers than what Murray is to Rabbitohs, and Murray is a lot to Rabbitohs. But we'll see. I guess time will tell. It'd be good for him to be a one-club man, but in saying that, I understand. Does Cleary stay or does he leave? Nathan Cleary, boys. What do you reckon?
He's gone.
I
said this since day one.
I'm saying he stayed, but I want to get off this topic, man, so I don't want to start any more argument.
That's okay. No. You reckon he stays? Why do you reckon he stays?
I just think, from what I've heard, again, and I've heard from...
But you're hearing from Perth. You're hearing from Penrith.
Perth, yeah. No, I've spoken to other people around Cleary as well. I just think, look, if he's not going to stay, it's not like he's going to be playing for another NRL club. That's what I believe. I'm more of your opinion, Kempy, that there might be this master plan going on in the background to potentially move overseas and whatnot. But I just know with Nathan, as someone who's spoken to him a lot and spoken to a lot of people around him, he needs a challenge. That's what he wants. He's not going to just go over because there's a lot of money. There needs to be something that's gonna get him. And if he can find that, which might be why he's heading to November 1 and why he's waiting, that's where we could see him depart.
But you feel he's going to stay at
I
Penrith?
feel like he will stay. Maybe not long term, maybe for a couple more years, but who knows? My colleague Bulldog Richie, he'll tell you that Mary Fowler's over there. He has to leave. So,
Yeah, I reckon Europe. I think that, the only reason you go to open market is because you're genuinely looking. I don't think Nathan Cleary would do that to the club. For example, if he was just secretly sitting there going like, oh, I just want to experience it. I just want to have a bit of fun. I think he loves the club too much to just do that. I think if he says that he's going to, open market and I know the CEO's come out and said he's never actually said he's going to open market. I think it's made it pretty clear he's going to the open market. Unless something gets done, I'm happy to put my hand up and say I got it wrong.
I've hypothesized this a couple of times, but I just reckon he wants to go to rugby for a new challenge and to achieve some more things. For example, a World Cup, not saying next year, but a World Cup later. An Olympics for sevens maybe. I don't know the ins and outs of rugby, what he'd be good at.
Just like when you hear Nathan Cleary speak, he wants to live his life. He wants to experience it. And to become to join a world game in Europe, I think he wants to experience that.
Absolutely.
Right now, yes, is NRL exploding? It is. It's absolutely exploding. But on the grand scheme of things, rugby union is a worldwide sport.
Yep.
And especially if you go over to Europe and France and that, especially, it's huge. Huge. I think he wants to experience that. I think he wants to experience traveling the world and playing for his country for the Wallabies. I think he...
having those global connections for the rest of your life.
Think of like this. Let's say you're just purely in the business of wanting to experience the best things possible in life. Imagine living in Europe with your famous partner, and think of the things that he would experience as a person by living in Europe. He'd be going to the biggest Premier League games that you can see, the biggest La Liga games that you can see. He'd be mingling with the biggest football players on the planet when it comes to soccer football.
The sponsorship opportunities as well.
He would be in rooms that are so much bigger than rugby league that you cannot fathom, because Mary Fowler's connections into the world of football is huge. She's huge over there. And I think when he looks at that and he says, I've only got so many years that I'll be able to get paid really well. If, for example, if he waits till another contract, he'll be 31 or whatever. Clubs will be I'm not, he might be really good, but he's 31. Right now, he's in the prime of his life. He's 28. He's done everything. Other clubs will be hell yeah, we'll sign him on a 3-year deal. And I just think that he wants to experience that. He's always wearing soccer jerseys and stuff. He seems to love that. I think from a perspective of, if I'm just I don't know, let's say I was Cleary's mate or whatever, and I wasn't biased towards rugby league and I wasn't biased towards the Penrith Panthers or whatever, I would be saying, bro, when you're 80 years old telling stories to your grandkids, winning another couple of premierships is honestly, it's not that interesting. But I'll tell you what is interesting. Sit in a box with watching El Clasico with fucking Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and you're sitting in the box with the Barcelona director of footy or whatever it is, that's the kind of shit that he could experience over there, because his wife is so big, the Adidas deal that he has. Put it this way, he would be doing, let's say there's a big Adidas ad and they sponsor some of the biggest football players in the world. He would be at those days, whether he's with his partner or he's a big signing for them in union, doing ads with, can you get up the biggest football athlete with Adidas?
Messi, Bellingham.
If he's a big signing for Adidas for rugby union over there, and Mary Fowler is also with Adidas, and they do an ad together, that's hectic, bro.
Noah Lyles, James Harden, going across sports now.
Yeah,
you've sold me. He's gone.
But I just think of the life that he could live over there. He doesn't bro. He's a goat. It's done. If you don't think he's one of the greatest of all time, period. Unfortunately, I can't get on board with that. He's done everything in league. Everything else after this is just purely just a bonus, really. And so that's why I think he'd almost be crazy not to do it, in my opinion. You know, even the PNG thing, like, yeah, he could earn a squillion, but fucking bro.
He's earning more in Europe.
Money is not going to be an issue for Nathan Cleary in his career.
But he's earning more than he will be earning more in Europe anyway.
Well, about the same. So let's say that
reckon?
the Adidas deal's like 5 mil or some shit over 2-3 years. Because the Mary Fowler one, I think it was 10 mil over 5 years or something like that. Could you Google that, please? Then you've got, let's say he's on 2 mil a year at some big French club. You know, it'd be close-ish. It'd be close-ish to the PNG deal.
Yeah, 2 mil a year for 5 years. So 10 mil.
Is that what Mary Fowler got?
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's just one deal.
I'm not even taking the piss. You've actually sold me. You've changed my mind.
And that's I think we get so caught up in this bubble in this. And look, again, I'm happy if he does re-sign with Penrith. You guys know I'll get up here and say I was wrong. I was totally wrong. What an idiot. But we get so caught up in this Australian bubble with it, bro. There is a massive world out there, and his talent has unlocked the gate to that world. Why not try it? When you have ticked every box there is in rugby league, nothing. He can do nothing more that will convince anyone more that he's a GOAT.
Do you reckon French rugby union journalists get paid more too? Because like,
you want to go over too, follow him around. You know that if you were to say to me, they're waiting to see whether Cleary resigns to decide on Yeo, I could hear that conversation. That's when I could go, okay, they're sitting there going, shit, if we don't keep Cleary, we at least have to keep Yeo. But I reckon the Panthers, you know what, maybe I'm putting it all together here. Maybe Panthers are sitting there going, if we get to keep Cleary, then maybe we say to Yeo, mate, it's been incredible, go get your big contract somewhere else. But if we lose Cleary, we need to keep that leadership in the club and we'll keep Yeo. Maybe you reckon that sounds feasible?
Yeah, probably.
Because you can't lose both.
no, and that's what I was trying to say before.
You can't use both. So that it might be either or, I reckon. Because like if Cleary goes, you give Isaah Yeo 1.2 million immediately, don't you? To be the leader of the club.
Yeah.
Surely. 2-3 year deal.
On the new cap, like despite the $750,000
Oh, there's no way.
you have to pay him what he's worth. Like,
You know what's crazy with that 700K mark? I don't even think they'd technically be allowed to pay him.
I don't think that unless he was benchmarked ages ago, like
The captain of this country and the captain of New South Wales is on 750. He wouldn't even be allowed to be paid that much. Surely.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't see it. Anyway, we'll move on. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying that maybe the middle ground is they're waiting to see if they keep Cleary.
Yeah.
Because they can't have a leadership vacuum like that. Because if Cleary and Yeo leave at the same time, who's the captain?
Mitch Kenny.
But even them, like, does he have the same?
No.
He doesn't. You know, Mitch Kenny's a bloody good player. He does a job, but he doesn't have the runs on the boards like those boys do.
No.
Okay. What else did I ask you for?
Nothing.
Nothing? Oh, the Adidas thing. Type in Adidas rugby union athletes.
Okay.
That'd be interesting. Surely they'd have some. And is he just about to sign an Adidas deal, did you say?
I think when his contract's up with League, I think so is his contract up with Adidas. I think it's around the same time.
Interesting.
But like you actually mentioned a good point about, you kept saying France rugby. If he goes to England rugby union, the sport's on a fucking mad decline at the moment.
Yeah, mad down.
But French is still still the pinnacle of rugby union.
I'll tell you what, living a hour flight away from your missus is way better than a fucking 24-hour flight. I'll tell you that much for free. Fucking hell.
And they are probably like, fuck, I didn't want to get onto this here, but they're probably looking as well, like kids, marriage, things like that.
As I said from the start, bro, you can't be, they are, and I know people like, jokingly talk about how much they love each other, but they're genuinely life partners.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would you spend 6 years away from a person that you're supposed to be building a life with? No, and look, everyone's different. Maybe you can. I'm just projecting for me.
I wouldn't be able to live.
I wouldn't be able to live that.
Bro, when
long
Mia's
without
away
my
for
partner.
2 weeks, I start going fucking.
Yeah, so like
crazy.
I look at them and you want them to be happy and enjoy that. Anyway, that out of the way. Did you find rugby union Adidas player?
There's plenty, but I don't know any of them.
Okay. On to the next topic. Wayne Bennett. This is all proudly brought to you by Aspley Mazda, guys. If you need a car, give Lukey a message. Doesn't matter whatever cars. If you just want some advice, Lukey is the best in the business. LDC_01. Give him a follow. He also does giveaways all the time. Sometimes he gives away whole cars. It's unbelievable stuff. LDC_01. Massive thank you to Lukey for partnering with the show again. He's what keeps the lights on around here, guys. So if you need a car, go through him and support, and that helps support us quite a lot. But Wayne Bennett, what's going on here?
Yeah, so I think you'll like this one because Wayne Bennett has backed, another Brisbane team, a third Brisbane team. There's been a lot of talk about the Orcas coming in. They seem like they're edging closer. Bulldog Richie was over there over the last weekend and spent some time with the Orcas, and that they're pushing quite hard to be that next team. But Wayne Bennett, quite like yourself, would like Brisbane to come in. And he had similar points to what you did around the AFL that I found really interesting in regards to the AFL taking up fields and things like that are taking away from rugby league pathways. But yeah, there's no hard news here on if Brisbane actually is going to have a chance to be a part of this. But Wayne Bennett would like Brisbane to be the 20th team in the competition.
It's a tough one, eh? Because I was all in on this. All in.
Oh, we've changed.
I don't know if I've changed. I'm still teetering. Seeing the Warriors play in Christchurch, I was like, oh, shit. Because on one hand, we can block AFL from the Western Corridor, but we could do, I won't say a death blow to rugby union in New Zealand, but fuck, a pretty big blow. Yeah. A pretty big blow to New Zealand, at least local rugby in New Zealand.
Well, I speak to a few people from New Zealand in and around the game and even in and around rugby union, and they tell me that league has grown drastically. Early this year, I don't watch a lot of rugby, but I was at the pub and they had a finals game on at the time with a rugby finals game, and the stadium was half full. 2 New Zealand teams. We don't have that issue in the NRL. You know, when we're in New Zealand, I don't know if having 2 teams will spread out the fan bases a little bit more, and we'll see crowds decline. But I mean, my opinion is I think going global is better than staying here. It'll give us access to more talent. It'll give us access to new places for the NRL. We've spoken about global round and things like that are coming into play as well. So I like the idea of New Zealand. And like you said, that game on the weekend, the Warriors doing the haka and the crowd going nuts.
But the one they played at Christchurch.
The one they played at Christchurch,
Cowboys. Yeah.
That was, and that stadium, like the fact that we're getting like looks and glimpses into different parts and it's more travel and things like that. I like that. But also I understand that, you know, especially older heads in rugby league, the threat of AFL is something that we do need to poach off, because it's something that we were always really renowned for, our juniors and our bush footy and things like that. I feel like we may have gone away a little bit from that, and that probably is where AFL is dipping their toe at the moment.
Yeah, it's a tough one. To be honest, I want to bring both in, really. Like I know that, you know, people go, talent's an issue or whatever. I tend to disagree. I think we've got the talent. I just don't think we have administrations that and coaching that is quite good. We've got good coaching, but for example, to become an NRL player, from age 6 you're training, you know, to become an NRL player usually, or age 5 or whatever. You know, you don't become where is all the practice to become a head coach? Like, it's, you know, you finish your career. Like, very, very few people are career coaches where they literally, like, from 18 years old are like, I'm going to go coach my local juniors or whatever. I'm going to build all the way up to an NRL coach. And so I just think that the systems in place, like, you know, actually, you know what? I'll speak about it more in my code article that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks, because that's going to be the topic. There's the hook.
Look at us. We're both plugging our own articles.
Yeah, our own articles, mate, because I don't think it's talent that's the issue. I think it's systems and administration that is the issue in regards to expansion. But we'll see. I guess we'll see. Segment 5, third verse fourth. Speak to me. What's going on here?
Yeah, it was a crazy idea, I guess, by Bulldog CEO Aaron Warburton, who is a great mind of the game. I really like Aaron and what he does, but he kind of pitched the idea in a meeting about a third versus fourth playoff. Peter V'landys is looking to grow the grand final week experience. They feel like, you know, we don't have much. There was also talks of an Indigenous All-Stars game potentially going at the same time. But look, yeah, the third versus fourth match is something that they're looking at. PVL has said it's very likely to go ahead this season, which is crazy. But so PVL, I'll read some quotes that he said. He said that there was too much clear air in the lead up to last year's grand final. He said, last year I sat back, I saw Thursday, Friday, Saturday, had nothing. I said to myself, why don't we have something on those days? He's like I said before, he said it's very likely one of those things I want to do at the NRL where We can do an organisation. If we decide to do something, let's do it. So yeah, it's a weird one. I've spoken to a few players about it, and I think today the players aren't great on it. But Trent Robinson earlier today nipped it in the butt. He says he thinks I think the concept is really good, but it's missed the mark. We're in a contact sport. Third versus fourth with millions and millions of dollars he said it's not, and then kind of cut himself off. He goes, you can play football and play a third versus fourth and have a 6v4. You can't have a third versus fourth the week after they're out of a physical contest in the end, and honour the game the way these players play.
Yeah, I think you know what that is. It's someone saying something, not thinking about what it actually takes to play rugby league at the highest level. And I understand that it's not Blenny's responsibility to kind of fully be aware of that. All he's thinking of is, how do I make the game bigger? So the number one priority for him is make the game bigger, and which he is totally just fucking. His tenure will never be forgotten, you know. But I think he's when he said all this, he's just purely thinking growth, and he's not actually thinking to expect blokes to go out and play in an NRL standard third or fourth game after they've been on the piss all week or whatever, you know, enjoying themselves after a big season. But even if they were just sober, like
the downfall after losing that game the week before.
Even just one NRL game, I don't think you understand how dangerous it is, how physical it is, the damage it does to your bodies. Like, it's got to be worth something. You can't, like, we still play the season out when you can't make the 8, but so there's that. But like a third or fourth game, I just think you're not actually considering how big it is to play NRL each week. And to Trent Robinson's point, to give the game what it deserves, rugby league, about the grit, the toughness, everything on the line every single week, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. And there's other games that, you know, maybe basketball, you know, I think they do a bit of flag, NFL or something like that.
Soccer.
Maybe soccer, because it's less physical. But we saw the World Cup third or fourth. Like, there was fucking 10 goals.
If you're a casual fan of soccer, you think that's the greatest thing ever, right? Because it's high scoring. But
I don't know about that, but I don't think it's a quality game.
They're taking the piss.
There was no defense. Like, I didn't find it enjoyable whatsoever, because you're just sitting there going, they're taking the piss. And that's soccer, where there's fuck all contact. In rugby league, there's so much contact. It's a real, when you cross that line, and yeah, it's just different, bro. You just can't be willy-nilly playing NRL level just because we want to throw an extra game on, kind of thing.
Even if we did throw it on though, and I hope it's not. I don't like the idea of it. But the quality of football is, like we said with the soccer, it's not going to be as good. There's a good chance we get a whole bunch of reserve graders playing that game.
We'd have to make it so you didn't do that. Otherwise, you know, Landys would put something in saying you have to field your best side. I know people will go, oh, well, look, we do Origin, but you're playing for more than just like a third or fourth. Like, what's the point of third or fourth? Like, no one really gives a shit about third or fourth. Yeah. No one ever says my team came third or fourth. What a great, like it's not a big deal.
I would say that.
You would say that, yeah. Whereas Origin, you're playing for pride. You're playing for something a bit bigger. And I know someone would say, oh, well, you're playing for your jersey. It's like, you played for your jersey for fucking 30 weeks. Like, I think that's long enough. Like, you know, if Origin went for 30 weeks, I don't think we'd be asking us to play a dead rubber.
There's also an international series that comes 2 weeks after the season finishes as well.
You're playing for third or fourth.
Can I give a fan perspective? As someone whose team has lost 6 prelim finals since 2012, losing a prelim, right, is a different devastation than losing a grand final. Losing grand final devastation is obviously the worst, but at least you got to experience the grand final week and the hope of making a grand final.
And you made a GF. I'd rather lose a GF than a prelim.
Exactly. So losing the 2021 grand final was devastating, but being a part of that week was fantastic. Losing 6 prelims is fucking horrendous. And as a South fan, why the hell would I want to watch my team potentially lose a second big game in a row for the sake of this third versus fourth bullshit? If South made the third versus fourth game, I would not watch it.
It's true. Like, you're already out. Like, you've already suffered the pain. It's just no point. It's such a physical game. As I said, maybe in soccer or whatever, but I just think there's no point. Okay, Latrell Mitchell did some running at Rabbitohs training yesterday, was not named for this week. He said he may use him off the bench in coming weeks. If I'm getting out, Bennett said if I can get him out there and we all feel he can play, we'll certainly be using him. If he's fit to play, we're going to play him. Simple as that. He wants to play. He's missed virtually the whole season. I can't guarantee he'll return because we haven't got a definite date, but the signs on Tuesday show much improvement. If he plays, it may not be until the second last week of the season. I don't think he'll be able to play a full game straight up, so he'll come off the bench. Mitchell was sent to an Australian top spinal surgeon, Mark Winder, who helped save the career of former Roosters fullback Anthony Minicello. The 29-year-old, who has played just once since round 10, aggravated a nerve problem in his lower back against the Dolphins, is eyeing a possible return against the Titans round 26. Like, oh, look, I know Rabbitohs fans probably still feel they can win the comp, but if you can't win the comp, if you just scrape it into the 8, like, okay, yeah, maybe you bring him back, but if you can't make the 8,
it's frustrating.
Don't play him.
It's frustrating because, if you can't make the 8, sure, but in 2 weeks, unless we go loss, which they might, it's Bulldogs, Warriors, 2 hard games, but I think they'll still be in contention enough. And if they're in contention, you have to play him. Like, we've missed him for 3 years. It's been, what is it, 22 plus 9, 31 games in 3 years. What makes it much worse is that before he got injured, he was the most informed player in the NRL. It's so frustrating.
So good. Before he got injured, he was ripping, absolutely ripping.
Oh, it's terrifying. But yeah, this is a bit of a counselling session for Matty. We'll bring up all this Rabbitohs. I broke the story Pete Bedell yesterday. The vibe from the Rabbitohs is it's really nice to see him running in that. But the words I got from the club was we're not popping champagne bottles yet. We're not out of the woods yet.
He's only just running.
Yeah, they think he's feeling good, and if he feels good there, the plan is to have him as this super sub, right? Things are going bad, put him on, and hopefully he can do those things that he does all the time and turn a game on its head. But you wouldn't risk him. You can't afford because it's all a trickle effect, Kempy, as you'd be able to talk to. If you have an interrupted preseason and you're not prepared to play a full season of NRL, it's going to be harder to play the full season of NRL next year. And it's just going to pile on and pile on and pile on the same issues we've had with Latrell for the last couple of years, and that he hasn't been able to play footy.
I want to ask something that's sacrilege for Matty, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Matty. Are you going to re-sign him?
Well, I think it's very telling that he is off contract, so he can talk November 1, Latrell. I think it's extremely telling that they've paused contract negotiations with everyone except for Tallis Duncan, and that everyone includes Latrell Mitchell. Look, I want Latrell in the team because he's on his day he's the best player in the comp, but he's still played less games than when he played for the Roosters. And if it happens again, like I think I said this last year, if it happens again, how do you re-sign him? I don't think you can. Not on the price tag he'll command from other clubs. Like Perth and PNG would offer him millions, and South can't afford to pay him millions if he's not playing at least 20 games a year. He's currently averaging 10 in the last 3 years.
Far out.
What do you guys reckon?
It's the toughest question ever because you're right. He is one of the few players in this comp that could carry you to a premiership.
Definitely.
But he will be, 29 at the moment?
Yep.
So when he comes off contract, after 27, he'll be 30, 31?
31.
Jeez, that's, with these the problems his body's had in the last few years, now all of a sudden you get nerve damage in that. Like, is this going to get better? Or is it, it's fuck.
There's the biggest problem here is the Rabbitohs rely on Latrell to win. They need Latrell on the field to win, but Latrell's body isn't reliable to hold up and play every week. So it's more a strategy thing. It's either, I think the Rabbitohs are going to throw an offer at him, whether it's the price that Latrell wants is a different story or not, and then he may hit open market. But if you're relying on a guy that can't be on the field for more than 10 games a year, the problems are going to keep happening. So maybe the Rabbitohs have to do a little bit of hey, maybe we need to put this money somewhere else and get a player in this position that's going to win us games. I would personally re-sign Latrell. I think he's worth every dollar. I would just be doing everything in my power to make sure that he can stay on the field.
You don't think they've already been doing that though?
Yeah, I think it's a hard one, right? Like, for example, as a Tigers fan, back in the day, Benji Marshall, I think it was 4 seasons in a row done his shoulder, and it looked like he was going to have to retire. And then all of a sudden, he went on this non-injury run, and he was playing good footy again. Anthony Minicello for the Roosters, like we said there, had massive back issues and had his career changed. So hopefully that can work with Latrell. We've still got 1 more year. It's just going to depend on Latrell's patience. Is Latrell willing to go, you know what, I'm going to play this year for you guys and kind of give a bit back to the club? But I don't know if you can do that with some of the money that's going to be thrown around.
It's tough. It's so tough. Horsburgh has been dropped by Stewart. What's going on here?
Yeah, you wanted to talk about Horsburgh the other day. Well, we've got heaps of updates now.
Okay.
Mate, I can say that I think Corey Horsburgh's time at Canberra is running out. There were talks that that Brisbane was after him, which we touched on Monday. It looks like Brisbane are going to be able to fit him in the cap now. We've obviously offered Xavier Willison a fair bit of money and are looking to retain a few guys. But But Corey and Ricky, it's not good at the moment. I think the relationship has taken a hit that maybe they thought that they could mend, but it doesn't. I don't know if it can. Like Corey, apparently after the game was extremely distraught. I'm hearing stuff like, he was dead silent, just completely shut off. Ricky had obviously said words to him in the sheds. It's not great. He's been given permission to look elsewhere. Perth Bears are really interested. Perth Bears have money and can pay him. And I think the writing's on the wall for Corey, sadly, at Canberra.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks that it has to end like that. It's such a unique relationship that they had. So I was looking like Perth Bears, I guess. I like the Perth Bears. I like that for them. Far out.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's what Perth need. Like, I think it's a good signing.
If they're not going to get Leota and they're not going to get Junior Paulo.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a good signing. But like when I'm thinking of Perth's next signing, like I want a big star. Like I want like an amazing half, an amazing fullback. But yeah, if they get him on the right price, I'd hate to see Perth pay overs for Corey Horsburgh now, and then hit November 1, a couple more players show interest in going there, and they miss out on a big fish.
Speaking of contracts at the Bears seemed very likely to sign Junior Paulo and even make their first captain, but his talks were broken down. The Bears had scoffed at $900K asking price for Junior Paulo. The counter offer was not enough to secure a deal. Talks have been ongoing for weeks, but it now seems unlikely he'll join. Instead, Junior Paulo is likely to stay at Para, where he still has 1 year offer on the table. Deals are yet to rule out a second season, but won't commit. I can't believe the Bears are scoffing at a $900K deal. Like, what?
You'd say, even with his age, Junior Paulo's still up there in one of the good front rowers in our game. Like, if the great front rowers are making over $1 million now, I think $900K for a leader and for someone.
But also look where your squad is at right
exactly,
now.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
you need to spend the money.
Yeah. So I think they've got 25 guys signed on already. So maybe they're trying to be a little bit more precautious. But as we've spoken about, for that first year, there's no one else available. You need someone like a Junior on your team.
Like if Junior and Liam Henry are starting, like
that's a good forward pack.
That's decent.
Yeah. Scott Sorensen also there.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Like I think as well, Perth is keeping a close eye on the Spencer Leniu situation and also looking at Moses Leota as well. So maybe that's also clouding things. But I mean, if you can sign someone of Junior Paulo's caliber on a 2-year deal for your first 2 years, I mean, look what Felice Kafusi did at Redcliffe when he went there.
Like he's still running for over 100 meters, still has an offload in him. Still like he's played, I don't know, 15 games so far this year, even though he's had one injury.
His injury was pretty bad as well. It was something that they couldn't really tell when he was coming back or not. Yeah, he had a knee clean out and it took a lot longer. Like who knows where Junior could be if that didn't happen.
Yeah, he still has like the thing is, this is like he's averaging 100, but he actually still has games where he has 170 meters against the Warriors, 150 against the Dogs, 170 against the Rabbitohs, 120.
I think he's come off the bench a lot as well this year.
And this is all off. Some of these are off the bench.
Yeah.
And some of this is like 36 minutes and that. Like, I don't know. Like, when you need leadership, I don't think it's that crazy of a price. Like a 2-year deal, $900K a year.
What's there to lose?
Unless, like, what's happened with the Leota situation then? Because, like, surely you're signing Leota.
Well, that window that we spoke about when the Leota situation has closed, I'm getting the feeling that Leota's going to re-sign with Penrith.
With Penrith?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where he wants to stay. Family there, loves the club. If Penrith lose Isaah Yeo, they might have a little bit more money, So
yeah, I mean, I think they kind of just need to re-sign Leota at the Penrith Panthers because although they've got some talent coming through, like
it's going to be a big fall off if they lose all these guys.
Yeah, like okay, so you move Papali'i to the middle, you're losing Sorensen, so your edge is like, what's happened to Luke Garner? Has he been playing reserve grade?
I think he's been injured.
Injured?
I think he's been injured.
So like
I reported yesterday they've signed Liam LeBlanc from the Rabbitohs, which is
I don't mind that.
Yeah, that was the.
So maybe that is them trying to. They're going to move Papali'i into the middle.
Well, I think he was that Liam LeBlanc's the Scott Sorensen replacement. A good young forward. A lot of the people at the Rabbitohs have high raps on him as well. So I think that's a good signing.
Jeez. So the Rabbitohs lost LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Wow.
You reading my stories, Campy? Come on,
I
man.
don't read all your stories, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, Garner hasn't been playing reserve grade, so must be injured.
Interesting. Do you listen to all my podcasts?
No.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess I'm just shocked at the Otter thing. If I was Perth Bears, here's your 3-year deal. Here's your 900K.
I don't think Penrith were overly excited about. Perth wanted him for next year, and I don't think Penrith were overly welcoming to that situation. In Penrith's mind, next year is a huge year. Ivan Cleary wants to go.
Why
out
did they give him permission? That's so fucking. I don't know.
Very similar to the Brian Totle situation. The talks had obviously started. The management had gone, you know what? Maybe we're going to get a lot more money somewhere else. Can we look elsewhere? They said you can have 14 days. Brian only took 7, but
why would you risk lose? I don't know. I don't know. Fuck. There's a lot that doesn't make sense. And I know Panthers fans hate me saying that, but I don't know. I'm just struggling to understand what's going on. Mate, the Tigers, what's going on there?
Well, we've spoken a lot about the Tigers' injuries this year. I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. Bloke in a bar exclusive.
Okay.
We heard last week that the Tigers were considering sending some of their guys off early for season-ending injuries. Season-ending surgeries. I can reveal today Adam Dewey, Jareem Buller, and Patrick Herbert will play until the end of the year with all needing shoulder reconstructions at year's end. The Tigers aren't finishing their year early. They want to win these last 4 games. There's a good chance now that Dewey and Buller will not play in the World Cup. I'm almost certain, but I just haven't had that confirmed. And which also means the Tigers next year, their preseason is going to begin without their fullback and halfback training with the squad full time.
What the fuck? Did you have the same reaction, Matty?
Yep. Unbelievable. It's actually insane. What are they doing?
They can't win the spoon. So it's just like
I don't think they can win the spoon, no.
Very super unlikely.
So
and this might even add to your concerns. They play the Dragons this week. Next week, the Roosters.
yeah, so they're getting smacked.
Week
Yeah.
after the Cowboys.
Smacked.
Week after Penrith.
What?
Penrith may rest their players last round of the.
So they're giving up a whole month of like that's 4 weeks of preseason training that they're essentially giving up.
That's if they don't try to push through for the World Cup. I doubt they will.
Because how can you ask them to demand essentially that they play through to the year and then say no, you can't play in the World Cup?
Well, I spoke to Patrick Herbert about it, and Patrick Herbert said to me that the club didn't have to ask him. Like he was always going to play on. So I don't know if the club have, and I think Adam Dewey had a similar situation from what I've heard. So I don't know if the club's necessarily demand, but they've gone, what do you guys want to do? And the boys have all said they want to play. But yeah, that's...
it should be irrelevant what the boys want. You've got a fucking club to run.
And the Tigers are paying their contracts. Like, it should be the Tigers' decision.
So, like, to miss 4 weeks, like, you know how important preseasons are?
especially in those positions, right? A fullback and a halfback, and 2 of your higher paid players as well. No Jerome Luai next year. So you're looking at a Javon Andrews coming into the halves and not having his number 7 with him, or a Latu Fainu coming into the halves and not having his number 7
What's
with
bizarre
him.
is, like, you've got Javon Andrews, this opportunity to go, you know what, mate? Just have the year out. No pressure whatsoever. Don't stress about the score. Don't stress about the results. Just go out there and fucking get some experience under your belt. Get ready for next year. Instead, you're going to sit in reserve grade whilst their shoulders get more banged up. Mate, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, there's the obviously fan part of me, and I was speaking to a couple other people about this that goes, I just want to win. Like, I'm desperate for a win. So maybe if we win the Dragons game, you know, go have your surgeries. But then obviously there's the well-being side. Like, I'd hate to... all the guys that have come back this year from injury, including Adam and Jareem, before they got injured, they were playing the best footy of their careers. They looked outstanding. They've come back and looked like a shell of themselves, struggled to find the form that they had before. So if it's bugging them that much that they're not playing the footy level that we are expecting and that we know that they can play, then is it almost better that you go and have this surgery? Because what they can do is they've got a young gun in Jack Attard who can play fullback. Give him a couple of games now. They've got a Javon Andrews. Move Jerome to 7. Jerome said he's happy to let to help these next guys. Move Jerome to 7 and let Javon play 6. He's had one game in the NRL and played halfback, which isn't his preferred position. Give these guys a bit of experience. They can have a game against the Dragons where they could potentially go out and pull an upset and win. They've got a game against the Cowboys, which, despite being tough, they can rival. Instead, we run the risk. Not we. The Tigers run the risk. They're playing these guys this week, and then next week. What happens if Dewey drops off this week? Paddy Herbert drops off next week. Buller drops off the week after, and then they've got to come in and play against these hard guys with literally with all pressure now, because they've got to take on someone else's role.
Surely you would be planning, mate. Get everyone we need in surgery. Get them in now. Okay, yep, we lose every week. Like, I understand fans want wins now, but surely you can push to the fans like, hey guys, this is building towards next year. Unfortunately, this season's done.
Let's look at the Taylor May situation. And Taylor was playing great. Like, I thought as a Tigers fan, if we're going to do something this year, it's going to be off the back of Taylor. 1 shoulder dislocation, 2 shoulder dislocation, 3 shoulder dislocation. And they go, yeah, shoulder reco time. And it's like he was playing with his arm cocked like this the entire game at one point, So I just don't want to see that to someone else. Jareem's so young in his career. We've given Adam the keys to be a long-term halfback.
Yeah, I've been quite surprised at the Tigers. Look, I know they're desperate. I get it, that they need wins, and this year's been supposed to be such a big year and everything's gone wrong. It's very easy for me to sit here. I'm not the one under pressure with my job and everything like that, but I don't know. There's just been quite a few decisions. I feel like, and I don't want to be harsh, but I feel like too many people are focusing on the off-field dramas and blaming that's why everything has gone wrong. When in reality, I feel like there's been coaching decisions that have gone wrong. I feel like there's quite a few things that Benji has done that I don't agree with. I guess there's the injury stuff, bringing people back early. Or at least it looks like it's early. I don't know for sure. I think that's been wrong. I think there are more problems than just like an off-field issue here or there.
Yeah, I think the off-field issue has masked a lot of these issues. I personally believe, as a fan, the injuries are what's actually killed this team this year. And the injuries come from preparation, we've had 3 torn pecs. We've 4 or 5 shoulders. We've got foot injuries. These aren't things that, we shouldn't be having so many of each of these injuries, to mask the club for a year. If they're all different injuries, you can say it's down to bad luck almost, but they're all the same injuries.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know enough about it to know if it's something they're doing, but I just know even with the chopping and changing constantly of outside back, center wing.
The Marcy Maxine's been dropped 4 or 5 times this year.
I mean, what did I said it more before halfway of the year. I was just put him in reserve grade, let him be a beast, bring him in next year. I don't know. I don't want to put the boot in with Tigers. They've had it tough, but I don't understand that. I think that you got key players in key positions. You can't. The season is over. You pretty much can't win the spoon. The Dragons would have to win every game. I think
even then.
So it's okay. So you're fighting to finish.
I think the best we can finish is 11th.
It's just not happening. Even at full strength, you're probably losing every game for the rest of the season. Maybe you beat the Dragons. But yeah, the Dragons would have to essentially win every single game. They're currently sitting on 3 wins. You guys are sitting on 7. So they'd have to, and they're not going to win every single game. So it's okay, you instead of finishing 14th, you're going to finish, and you might finish 14th. You might finish 16th anyway. But let's just assume you lose every game with those guys getting surgeries. You finish 16th instead of 14th. Does anyone give a shit?
Yeah,
I don't think anyone cares. It's bad. If the Broncos finish 14th, do you think I'm any more pissed off that they finish 14th or 16th? Don't care. Both bad.
Well, I'll ask you this. 2 years ago, who came second last?
No idea.
No one knows. But who came last? Tigers. South came second last.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matty. I was enjoying before when it was all your.
Look, I guess they know their medical staff. They're trained in that field, I guess. I personally think it shouldn't be a player decision with something like that. It should be a club decision.
Well, you're supposed to take the option out of the players' hands because the players are the worst enemies at times.
Yeah, when I was coming through, and I wasn't even a key player, and I needed a Rico. A couple of weeks before the season ended, they were like, "All right, we can't make the finals or whatever it was. Go get the Rico." So I had the reconstruction early to make sure I was ready for preseason. But anyway, we'll see. They know more than us, but that's just my outside looking in opinion on it all. All right, that's us done and dusted. Make sure to give Tyson the Terminator a follow. As usual, we'll go fuck ourselves. Thank you.